Welcome back. Today I'm doing a little video to show you the craft related items I got for Christmas, because I did mention this on my last video to say is anyone interested, and a few people said they would be interested, and I'm absolutely delighted because I'd really like to show you, and it's in no way of like I'm showing off, oh I've had this kind of thing, but you'll know if you've been watching me, I'm quite passionate about sewing and craft items, and I get quite excited about things, and you might notice if you've been watching me regular, things are looking a little bit different here. Yesterday I tidied up a little bit. I've moved things around a little bit here and there, so it might look a little bit different. I'm not saying it looks great, but it looks different. So and I want to show you a couple of things that I've bought as well. Today is the 20th. My nose is running again already. I should hang on. I might have to forward this. Bear with me. Right, excuse me if it goes weird, you know what's happened. It's the 29th of December. It is it Tuesday or Wednesday? I think it's Tuesday. I just lose track of the days at the moment, and outside we're getting quite heavy snow coming down, and I'm really excited about it because the particular place we are in the Midlands, do you know, in the UK, if you're in the UK, a lot of places have been getting snow, like last year, there was so much snow, but this part, I'm not saying all of the Midlands, because the Midlands did get it, but this part of the Midlands just didn't get it, and it just kept missing us. It was coming from all different directions. I was kept an eye on the weather report, and it just kept on going before it got to us, but we're actually getting heavy snow now. It hadn't settled when I last looked, but I'll be checking it when I leave doing this video. And I have finished a project which I'm going to show you. So what shall I start with? Right, now this year I thought I'm not going to leave it up to chance to see what I get for Christmas. I'm going to try and give my family a few little pointers. So I sent my husband a few WhatsApp links, and I said, look, I'm not expecting anything, but if you need a bit of guidance, here you go. And actually he said he was really grateful that I did it, because he said he sometimes really struggles to know what to get me, and he was very thankful. So two of the items I sent him a link for, because it could be for him or the boys to get me. These two particular items that I'm going to show you now, they didn't get me. I got them. I ended up getting them myself. But it makes sense to the main gift my husband got me. Now I sent him the link for these two books. Master the Cover Stitch and Sewing Jeans. Now, my experience with sewing jeans, I've made Tilly and the Buttons, Jessa shorts, I've made various shorts, and basically they have been like making a pair of jeans. They've had zip flies, jean buttons, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty confident if I had a jeans pattern, because actually the Jessa shorts you can make full length, I'm confident I could make a pair of jeans without sounding boastful, that is. But I thought this book might be a nice little resource to have a look through, see if there's anything I don't know about, things, maybe decorative things, just have a little browse. And I've only literally just had a quick flick through it yet, so I don't really know what it's going to be like. But I think for having a quick look through, if you've never made a pair of jeans, then this would be quite nice. Now, going back to jeans, I probably don't need any jeans, because I've bought over the years, from a young age, lots of jeans. And you know what? It's not very often I have to throw them out. Okay, I did have to throw them out more regular when my boys were very small, when I was changing a lot of nappies, because I did used to do that quite a lot on the floor, and I used to spend a lot of time on my knees with the boys when they were very small. But since I haven't got to do nappies and do that kind of thing anymore, I haven't had a pair of jeans going holes in the knees in a very long time. So I've probably got more jeans and jean shorts in my wardrobe than anything. They tend to go out of fashion before they wear out. So do I need a pair of jeans, really? Okay, maybe a couple of different colours, maybe, but because like I've really got into dressmaking now. I've made a coat. These are like the ultimate things. I've made a coat. I've made jersey pajamas, woven pajamas. What else is there that people kind of aspire to make? And I suppose it'd be nice to have a pair of jeans. I've made a pair of jeans, wouldn't it? So yeah, so a future pair of jeans will be coming along, whether it's this year. Well, it's not going to be this year now, but whether it's next year, I don't know. But it's there in my library, isn't it? If I want it, but yeah, I haven't obviously read it yet, but I kind of think this would be a good thing to get if you've never made a pair of jeans and you're interested. But I didn't get it for Christmas. But on the plus side, when I had a look at it, it was actually a lot cheaper than the link I'd sent to my husband. So actually, I'm glad he didn't buy it because I've got it cheaper. And this is the other one, the Master the Cover Stitch. Now, I asked for this, didn't have a cover stitch machine, have thought about it, and then I kind of come to the conclusion that I didn't need it because I can do what I want to do on my overlocker on my sewing machine, and regarding when you're doing top stitch on jerseys, you can do a zigzag. I've got a straight stretch stitch on my machine, so it's you could do twin needling. It's kind of like a luxury item, isn't it, really, a cover stitch machine? That's the conclusion I came to anyway. But still, I kind of and ahed, and then you see things online, people go, I love my cover stitch machine, and you kind of think, oh, do I want one, don't I want one? So I asked for this book for Christmas because I thought, well, maybe I'll have a read through and then I can decide if it's something I want in the future. And then when I sent my husband the links for these, I did explain to him that I haven't actually got a cover stitch machine. It's something I've thought about getting in the future, and I just wanted to learn about them and things. Well, he went one step further. He didn't get me the book, but he got me the machine, which was a lovely surprise. I don't know if he felt a little bit under pressure because I'd got him that wood turner for Christmas, and he already knew, didn't he? Because it turned up when I was doing the school run and it wasn't covered, and then I actually ended up myself getting him something else as a surprise. So he had something surprise to open. So maybe he thought, oh, I better step up a gear kind of thing, and he actually got me the cover stitch machine, which I haven't got it out of the box yet, but you might have seen a little snippet of it on my catch-up video, my last video, when I was filming my cat and I had it in shot. But I'm going to do an unboxing. The reason I haven't got it out yet is because since having it, I haven't made a garment. With everything that's happening with Christmas, and there was a project I was in the middle of I wanted to finish, but I've finished that project now, so my next plan is a garment, a stretch knit garment, so I can actually use the cover stitch machine. Now, I have had a look through this book, and I actually think it's going to be really useful because I do like sewing with jersey. I sew a lot of jersey, and it's very good for sportswear, and you can do like decorative things. I'll see if I can see an example that I was looking at last night. I'll forward this if it takes too long for me to find it. Right, found it. Sorry, it did take a while, so I definitely would have forwarded that. Now you see this kind of like decorative stitching on the front of this top. So you can do that kind of thing on it, and you see that's the underside stitching. So basically on the top you'd have either a line of stitching, 2 lines of stitching, 3 lines of stitching, but underneath you get this kind of crazy stitching. Hopefully you can see that. But you can actually use that on sportswear. You can actually use that on outsider garments. So you could have like, you know, no, like just a line of seam inside with no raw edges or anything, and then you can actually cover that up and have that on the outside. And I think because I figure skate, okay, I've done very little figure skating this year with what's gone on, but I just thought it would be really useful. Hello, I don't know who that is. It's probably, I would guess that's my middle son, because he didn't say anything when he came in. That's my guess. It's not lunchtime, is it? Oh, it's 20 to 12, so it's probably about lunch. Anyway, so I'm really looking forward to this. This is so exciting because, you know, it's just, I love to learn. So I'm learning something. So anything I pick up, I will share with you. So that is things I bought for myself and my main Christmas gift. Now, leading up to Christmas, I bought my husband a Christmas mug from Emma Bridgewater. And I've mentioned Emma Bridgewater before and how much I love her things. And when I was ordering him a Christmas mug, because I've ordered him a Christmas mug before, a personalised one, and it was lovely, but it was a pint mug, and it's absolutely massive. It's no good for anything really, probably having soup in it. But I wanted to get him the half pint mug. I'd ordered it by mistake really, but the particular one I found, you couldn't personalise it. Right, I've got fluff on my nose, excuse me. So when I ordered him a Christmas mug, this one I couldn't personalise, I ordered myself one. Now, I have seen other people with this. I think I've seen So Hayley Jane with one, and I think I've seen someone else with one, and it's gorgeous, right? It's an Emma Bridgewater mug. It's a sewing related one, and you can have it personalised. And I'm quite impartial onto a craft mug, and this is it. I absolutely love it. So that arrived just before Christmas, but I haven't used it. I've just thought, wow, because you know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get for Christmas. So I thought, wow, I'll keep this for for Christmas kind of thing. So yeah, I absolutely love it. Excuse me, I am going to have a sip. I've got a lem sip here. I've got it in my, well, it's not mine. I bought it for my middle son, but I do use it because he doesn't have a hot drink all that often. And it's my cat mug from, well, his cat mug from Anthropology, but I bought it for him, and a jug, and it's fantastic. Right, so now I'm going to show you my Christmas gifts that I got from my boys. Now, I do own a wooden point turner. This one, it's actually my second point turner, because I lost my first one, but you know, who's to say I'm not going to lose this one, because it can happen. I actually keep this, I do keep it in this, I keep a number of things in this owl, and this was actually made for me. And I was in an online quilting guild in America for 2 years. It doesn't run anymore. It only ran for 2 years, and I was in it. And we used to do swaps. You'd have a swap partner, and this was one of the things that was made for me. This owl, and it's lovely. It's got pockets, and I put all these, do you know, these little pins in the back. These dressmaking pins, those really, I don't know if you can see those anyway. There's the dressmakers pins, and that's where I keep those in the back. And yeah, I keep a number of things in there, friction pens, seam rippers, snips, there's a Sharpie, regular biros, a chalk pencil, what's this? Actually, I don't know what this, I got this free. Do you know when Sewing Quarter was closing down? It's a Notions, it says Notions on it, but it looks like a Sharpie. And it can be a bit dangerous. I don't think it's going to disappear. So I don't know, but because it says sewing on it, you could use it on fabric. I don't think that would disappear. So I've not actually used that yet. So, however, I asked for some point turners, or a point turner, and I got two. I've got one out already. I got a pink one and a kind of teal blue colour one. And these are quite nice because they're good for pushing out corners instead of using your scissors. And you know when you've got like a rounded edge you need to push out, a rounded edge, and I've got them in 2 colours. So hopefully between the 3 of them I've got now, the wood and the 2 plastic, hopefully if I lose one, because things do go astray, I don't put them anywhere weird, but sometimes I just put something down and I just can't find it. So there's a chance I'll have one now if I lose one. Things I'm actually missing, right, my tape measures. I've had to get another one. I made this box ages ago with this tape measure paper. I think I printed that out on my printer and then made it into a box. And actually I've got a new tape measure because I keep losing them. And at the moment, no matter how many tape measures I've got, because I know my family do use things to measure and things, that is the only one I can actually find at the moment. It's shocking, isn't it? You know, and it's not like it's that messy in here. You think, well, you'll never find anything. They just seem to go astray, right? So the other gift I had, now leading up to Christmas, a lot of haberdasheries were, you know, doing Christmas gift guides. And obviously my family are never going to be going on those things or watching their things, are they? So obviously I gave them a few pointers. Now you may know, if you've been watching me a while, I'm not a fan of sewing labels for putting in your garments, because I've got sensory issues and I can't stand a label. And normally if I was to buy a shop bought garment, I would pick the label out because I cannot stand them, basically. I just can't understand if you buy pants and they've got loads and loads of labels in them, and then you cut them and you've still got some scratchy bit. And sometimes I've ended up picking labels with my seam ripper, and then they've been sewn in when they've sewn the garment, and then you've got a hole in your pants that I've had to sew up. However, I did manage to accumulate the odd one when I was in Sew Hayley Jane's club, where it was a dressmaking subscription where each month you get a little magazine, a piece of fabric and some fat quarters and a couple of things. And there's different tiers of price range that you go in to the amount of fabric you get, and the highest one you get a pattern. I used to get in the middle range one, so I never used to get a pattern, but I did get a couple of bits, 4 fat quarters and 2.5 meters of fabric and no pattern. But I did sometimes used to get labels. Now Hayley was quite nice. She suggested putting labels on the outside of things sometimes, and that can look quite quirky. And actually one label did come in useful recently. When you order a secret Sewing Society box from Guthrie and Garney, you get a label saying made with G&G or something on it. And actually when I forgot to mention this to you, I can't believe I forgot. Now if you've ever seen the photograph of the coat I made this year, like on Instagram, the photo that's on the front is the one I'm showing the lining, because I was just so happy about this lining. And then if you scroll along, you'll see the ones with it closed and at different angles. If you saw it on Facebook, they all kind of come up all individually. It depends on where you're looking at them. And I did show them on one of my videos, but I can't really remember which one it was. You might notice when I opened it, there was a label on the inside. Was it on the lining? On the lining, I think I put it. And but the thing is, I didn't mind it being there because I'm not going to ever be naked under the coat, am I? Well, hopefully not. And I thought, well, it's always going to be touching clothes, so it's not going to bother me. And also, it was to cover something, and I forgot. And it wasn't because I was hiding this from you. It's because I forgot to tell you. When I was actually trimming all the coat down with my pinking shears, I actually managed to cut a tiny little hole in my lining in that spot, and I couldn't believe it. And it would be a bit that you see, so I kind of repaired it and put the little label on it just to cover it up, but it looked like it was supposed to be there. So yeah, so now you know all the secrets, but I didn't try and hide it. I just totally forgot about it, because when I made the coat, I was a pattern tester, and I made it, I think it was kind of around October time, and I think it was like December I was allowed to show you the coat. So it was such a long time since I'd made it, and I'd made so many other things, I'd actually forgot about that. So yeah, so now I'm telling you now. So anyway, going back to labels, I have got a few labels, but I've also got quilt labels that I've accumulated here and there. So I kind of haven't got a proper place. I think I keep them in somewhere here in these wooden drawers, and I think I found, when I was sorting things out, I think I found some in this plastic thing here. So I'm going to sort, now I'm going to show you this, I'm going to sort them out. But I got this tin, and I sent this link to my family, and it's from Guthrie and Garney, and the brand of this is called Kylie and the Machine, and it's labels collector's tin. Now I don't think I own any Kylie and the Machine labels, unless some of the ones I got from So Hayley Jane are Kylie and the Machine. But it's basically a tin to keep your labels in. So if I do accumulate any labels, I'm going to keep them in there. You know, maybe if I get the odd label I know that I'm never going to use, I could gift them to people, couldn't I? So yeah, so it's really lovely, and it's a useful thing, useful storage, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really pleased with that I got that, so that I asked for. And then the other thing that I sent a link for from there was this, and it's the fabric swatch book, and basically it's for keeping, self-explanatory, samples of fabric that you've bought. And it says here you can put what the fibres are, what the fabric is, what the weight of it is, the source of it, and what you've stashed. So say if I bought a fabric and then I've used it for something and I've got some left, I can put how much I've stashed. Or say if I haven't used it at all yet, and I can put how much I've bought. Now, unfortunately, not all places give you this much information about your fabric when you buy it, but really I think anybody that's selling fabric, in my opinion, they should be telling you all these things, in my opinion anyway. So like the fabric I recently bought, I don't know if I showed you this, but I did tell you about it. I bought earlier, I think it was early in the month, some fabric to make the Hudson pants and the Hudson pants pattern, but after buying it, I've realised it's probably not going to be suitable. I don't think it's going to have the right sort of recovery. It is from Guthrie and Garney, and it feels lovely, and I'll tell you what it is. It is It's Ocean Marl, that's the colour, organic cotton interlock fabric. And basically I've kept that. It doesn't tell me the quantity. Oh, I don't know how they work. It says I've had 14 quantities and it came to £18.90. So I don't know. I know for the Hudson pants you need 1 metre 40, I think. So that is how long it is, the bit I bought. But I came to the conclusion I wasn't going to make the Hudson pants with it. And I actually phoned Guthrie and Garney, and they said it is a perfect weight for really making tops. And you could make it for a lounge thing, but they said it might be better, you know, but not for wearing out, and you know, it might go a bit baggy on the knees and things. So no Hudson pants. And then I decided I was going to make a t-shirt. Where's the pattern for my husband with it? But he wants the short t-shirt, and then I thought that's going to be a bit too snuggly, isn't it, for a t-shirt? So I thought, you know what am I going to make? If I can find it, because it was a while ago I mentioned this. Let's have a look. I might make the Soho 7 toaster sweater version 2 with this. And it's funny because it's blue as well, isn't it? So I think that is going to be my next make, I suspect. And what I like about this, I might get to use my cover stitch machine. If I can get it, you know, if I'm successful with it. Obviously, if I make this, I'm not going to go straight onto cover stitch, straight onto this. What I'll do is I'll see what scraps I've got and I'll have a little bit of a practice on it to make sure I'm getting it right. So that is probably going to be my next make. Where's the thing I wanted to show you? I've completed. Oh, here it is. Right, I'll show you that in a moment. Right, so that is up and coming. And what I'll do with that, I'm going to keep a sample of that and I'm going to put it in my swatch book with all the notes I've got. I might go back on Lauren's website and see how much more information I can get on it and fill that in. And I don't think I'm going to go back with any fabrics I've bought already, but going forward this is what I plan to do if I get nice and organised. And I've washed and I've tumbled. I've washed that fabric on 40. Might not be recommended, and I've tumble dried it to death because I just want all the shrinking to be done. And I've done the same with this one. This is the fabric I won from, and you know, it's the place I can't pronounce. I think it's called by Graziella. I think that's how you say it, fabrics. And I won this. And I showed it you before, but I didn't really, and I've washed it at 40 and I've tumble dried it. This is how it's looking. But what I didn't know when I last showed you this, what it's like inside, and I don't know if that's going to come up on camera, but look how fleecy that is. That's really lovely, isn't it? So that's going to be another jumper. I've got a metre of that. That's what they've said they've sent me. I haven't measured it, but that's going to be a jumper. I don't know which one, but it's definitely going to be a jumper. So that is that. So back to Christmas gifts. I keep flicking back and forth, don't I? So this was the other thing, right? And it's delightful. It's so delightful. And you know, if you were starting out in sewing or dressmaking, it would be such a lovely thing to get. And it's this. And it's gorgeous, isn't it? And I think you can get 2 colourways from it. And it's by Love Prim. And I love their things. It's the same as these. And it's lovely. That's what it's looking like. And you know, it would help keeping all things together. I'm intending on putting one of these inside this to keep them together. And you can pop it open. And this is what it looks like inside. Now this is some sewing needles, which is always handy, isn't it? Like, I might be tempted to keep this upstairs. You get some clips, some wonder clips. I don't know if they call them wonder clips. They might call them quilting clips, because I think wonder clips, that's their own brand. You get a handful of those here. You get a tiny, tiny pink tomato pincushion. That is so cute, isn't it? And you know where it came from, the tomato pincushion? It's it's an old thing, because I've looked up a lot of history, and it's something to do with if somebody had a new home. I think they used to give them tomatoes or put tomatoes on the fireplace. It was something to do with bringing them luck in their new home, and that's where the tomato pincushion came around. But that's really sweet, isn't it? Isn't it tiny? You get a pink seam ripper in this one, and they're always handy, aren't they? You get a pencil, which appears to be a white pencil, so I'm guessing it's for marking on fabric. You get a measuring gauge, which I kind of wish they'd put inches on it as well. It's centimetres on both sides, which seems a bit crazy, really, doesn't it? You'd think they'd put inches on one and centimetres on another, but there you go. I work in both. because I work as a paper crafter. Sometimes I'd work in centimetres, sometimes I'd work in inches. Quilting, I always work in inches. And when it's dressmaking, I just, if the pattern's, you know, centimetres, I do centimetres. If the pattern's inches, I do inches. I don't convert it. But yeah, so you need measuring things in all kinds of things, don't you? Then I'll just pop this out. And now this is the ultimate reason I wanted this. Well, one, I wanted it so you've got a few bits and bobs of different kinds all grouped in one place. And look, these scissors, and they've got love on them. Aren't they fab? And they're dressmaker scissors, because look at the shape of them. They're angled like that, so you can cut and you can get right down to it like that, look. And then this is probably one of the ultimate. Now, I've opened this already, so you don't get these pins on here, but I've put them on here, some of my pins, because I was having a little nosy. But it's a magnetic pin cushion. Isn't that fab? Now, I know I've showed you magnetic pin cushions I've got, but as you can see, I've got safety pins on that one. I use them for all different kind of things. And I've got pins that are for knit fabrics. So I know I've got quilting pins on there at the moment, but my intention with this is I'm going to keep dress knit pins on them for knit garments. So I know that's the one to go for when I'm sewing with jersey, basically. And and that is it. That is all the gifts that I received for Christmas. I'm really happy with them, and I hope you like seeing them. And you know, if you was interested in something, you know, it's something you can look at, isn't it, for the future? What else did I want to? And I wanted to show you what I finished making. Now, over Christmas, I was doing my free motion embroidery, wasn't I? Actually, there's some sweeties in it, and I finally finished that project. And it's a pot. Oh, I've got a thread on here, and it's basically a fabric pot. There's house number 1, house number 2, and I got my little metallic threads out and did some little Christmas lights. And there's house number 3 and house number 4, and I added these on as a little added extra Christmas tree and the snowman, and there is little aerials up here. Look, if I put it up, you see the TV aerials, and inside there's many stars. I didn't go right down to the bottom, but I will admit, on Christmas Day, like, I hadn't had an alcoholic drink in ages. I can't even remember the last time it was. And on Christmas Day, I did have, I think, a glass and a half of wine. And it did like, I'd only had a bit of the wine, it went straight to my head. And and this was a Christmas dinner, and then after dinner my husband went and had a shower. So I just nipped in here, and I did free motion a few of the stars, and I did feel the effects of the wine, but I don't think the quality of the stars were as good as they should have been, the ones that I did when I'd had a bit of wine, but it was quite enjoyable. I don't recommend drinking alcohol and sewing, you know, no, I do not recommend that at all, but it's not, I hadn't had that much, I just could feel it a little bit, and I only did a little bit of sewing, and I suppose I'm fairly experienced with it, aren't I? And I did keep my fingers well away from the needle. So yeah, so I'm absolutely delighted with it. We have photographed it. I might put a photograph on the screen, but you've probably seen it better here really than the photographs. And I did fill it with sweets. Some of them I've put back in the fridge because we like our chocolate cold, but we've ended up putting the wrappers back in there. So I hope you've liked seeing that. I didn't get all the Christmas free motion embroidery done that I wanted to before Christmas. I might continue doing the Christmas things that I didn't get done, but I probably won't share them on social media, because you know, when Christmas, you know, when we're in the new year and things, maybe people might be a bit like, oh, I don't want to see Christmas anymore, because there was a free motion stocking I wanted to do, and it's a bit past, isn't it? So maybe what I might do is, if I do any of those I'll show you guys on YouTube, but I might not share them on my social media. I might put them in my blog and things, and maybe I'll share them next Christmas or something. So yeah, so that's what's going on at the moment. So things that are going on today, it's lunchtime now. It's just after 12 o'clock, so it's lunchtime now. So we're going to do the boys' lunch, have lunch. And my husband said after lunch, did I want to go out with him to get a door? Because the garden room, that's what I was going to tell you. The day after Boxing Day, I decided to alter the curtains, so I had a load of sewing things all down in the garden room, all over the floor. I had to basically sew the curtains on the floor, and I had to use a stop-start button, which I don't normally use. I usually use a foot pedal, but actually if you need to sew on the floor because you've got something big and heavy, it's actually quite a useful thing to do, to be able to press the stop-start button. But it's not my preferred way of doing things. It was getting a bit crazy doing this button when you're so used to using your foot. So the curtains are hanging now. The only thing I need to do is I've folded in the corners, and I just need to do a little hand tacking, which I can do with the curtains on there. But at the minute I've just left some pins, but you can't see them, they're hanging, they look fine. And while that was going on, my husband, he hadn't yet oiled the bar area, so he'd had to take everything off. He's been oiling the bar. He's at the stage now that he's starting to put things back on there. He's oiled it 3 times and he's putting things back on because it's a pure wood worktop. And all the things that he's using, that he was storing in the bathroom, work-related things to do the garden room, he'd got out of there. So we were able to sit in it last night, but it's been in a bit of a mess again with things going on. So today we're going to get a toilet door. So he has been working on it. I haven't looked in the toilet actually. He's painted. Actually, I might take you down there. He's now painted where the bar is, the area, the other side of the bar. He's painted that now. The last time I would have shown you, that wasn't painted. And I know he's done some painting in the toilet area. I don't think he's done any tiling or anything, but I haven't looked in the toilet for a while. So what I might do is, when I finish now, I might take you down there to have a look and see how he's getting on. And if there's a bit of a mess there again, excuse the mess, but you know, it's just, that's how it is, isn't it, when you're doing jobs and things. So right, I'll take you down there.